Chapter 37. Bezalel now made the ark of acacia wood. 2 cubits and a half was its length, and 1 cubit and a half its width, and 1 cubit and a half its height. Then he overlaid it with pure gold inside and outside, and made a border of gold round about for it. After that he cast 4 rings of gold for it, 4 above its 4 feet, with 2 rings on its one side, and 2 rings on its other side. He next made poles of acacia wood, and overlaid them with gold. Then he put the poles through the rings on the sides of the ark, for carrying the ark. And he went on to make the cover of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half was its length, and 1 cubit and a half its width. He further made 2 cherubs of gold. Of hammered work he made them on both ends of the cover. 1 cherub was on the end over there, and the other cherub on the end over here. He made the cherubs on the cover on both of its ends. And they came to be cherubs spreading out 2 wings upward, screening over the cover with their wings, and their faces were one to the other. The faces of the cherubs proved to be toward the cover. And he proceeded to make the table of acacia wood. 2 cubits was its length, and 1 cubit its width, and 1 cubit and a half its height. Then he overlaid it with pure gold, and made a border of gold round about for it. Next he made for it a rim of a handbreadth round about, and made a border of gold for its rim round about. Further, he cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put the rings upon the 4 corners that were for the 4 feet. The rings proved to be near the rim as supports for the poles for carrying the table. Then he made the poles of acacia wood, and overlaid them with gold for carrying the table. After that he made the utensils that are upon the table, its dishes, and its cups, and its bowls, and its pitchers, with which libations would be poured, out of pure gold. Then he made the lampstand of pure gold. Of hammered work he made the lampstand. Its sides and its branches, its cups, its knobs, and its blossoms proceeded out of it. And 6 branches were running out from its sides, 3 branches of the lampstand out from its one side, and 3 branches of the lampstand out from its other side. 3 cups shaped like flowers of almond were on the one set of branches, with knobs and blossoms alternating, and 3 cups shaped like flowers of almond were on the other set of branches, with knobs and blossoms alternating. That is the way it was for the 6 branches running out from the lampstand. And on the lampstand there were 4 cups shaped like flowers of almond, with its knobs and its blossoms alternating. And the knob under 2 branches was out of it, and the knob under 2 other branches was out of it, and the knob under 2 more branches was out of it, for the 6 branches running out from the lampstand. Their knobs and their branches proceeded out from it. All of it was one piece of hammered work of pure gold. Then he made its 7 lamps and its snuffers and its fire holders out of pure gold. Of a talent of pure gold he made it, and all its utensils. He now made the altar of incense out of acacia wood. 1 cubit was its length, and 1 cubit its width, it being 4 square, and 2 cubits was its height. Its horns proceeded out of it. Then he overlaid it with pure gold, its top surface and its sides round about, and its horns, and he made a border of gold round about for it. And he made for it 2 rings of gold down below its border upon 2 of its sides, upon 2 opposite sides of it, as supports for the poles with which to carry it. After that he made the poles of acacia wood, and overlaid them with gold. He made additionally the holy anointing oil, and the pure perfumed incense, the work of an ointment maker. Chapter 38. And he went on to make the altar of burnt offering out of acacia wood. 5 cubits was its length, and 5 cubits its width, it being 4 square, and 3 cubits was its height. Then he made its horns upon its 4 corners. Its horns proceeded out of it. Next he overlaid it with copper. After that he made all the utensils of the altar, the cans and the shovels and the bowls, the forks and the fire holders, all its utensils he made of copper. He further made for the altar a grating, a network of copper, under its rim down toward its centre. Then he cast 4 rings on the 4 extremities near the grating of copper as supports for the poles. After that he made the poles of acacia wood, and overlaid them with copper. Then he put the poles into the rings on the sides of the altar for carrying it with them. He made it a hollow chest of planks. Then he made the basin of copper, and its stand of copper, by the use of the mirrors of the women servants, who did organize service at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And he proceeded to make the courtyard. For the side toward the Negeb, to the south, the hangings of the courtyard were of fine twisted linen for 100 cubits. Their 20 pillars and their 20 socket pedestals were of copper. The pegs of the pillars and their joints were of silver. Also for the north side there were 100 cubits. Their 20 pillars and their 20 socket pedestals were of copper. The pegs of the pillars and their joints were of silver. But for the west side the hangings were for 50 cubits. Their pillars were 10, and their socket pedestals 10. The pegs of the pillars and their joints were of silver. And for the east side toward the sun rising there were 50 cubits. The hangings were for 15 cubits to the one wing. Their pillars were 3, and their socket pedestals 3. And for the other wing, on this as well as that side of the gate of the courtyard, the hangings were for 15 cubits. Their pillars were 3, and their socket pedestals 3. All the hangings of the courtyard round about were of fine twisted linen, and the socket pedestals for the pillars were of copper. The pegs of the pillars and their joints were of silver, and the overlaying of their tops was of silver, and there were silver joinings for all the pillars of the courtyard. And the screen of the gate of the courtyard was the work of a weaver, of blue thread and wool dyed reddish-purple, and copper scarlet material and fine twisted linen, and 20 cubits was the length, and the height throughout its extent was 5 cubits, equally with the hangings of the courtyard. And their 4 pillars and their 4 socket pedestals were of copper. Their pegs were of silver, and the overlaying of their heads and their joints were of silver. And all the tent pins for the tabernacle and for the courtyard round about were of copper. The following are the things inventoried of the tabernacle of the testimony, which was inventoried at the command of Moses, as the service of the Levites under the guidance of Ithamar, the son of Aaron the priest. And Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, did all that Jehovah had commanded Moses. And with him was Oholiab, the son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, a craftsman and embroiderer, and weaver in the blue thread and the wool-dyed reddish-purple and copper scarlet material and fine linen. All the gold that was used for the work in all the work of the holy place came to the amount of the gold of the wave offering, 29 talents, and 730 shekels by the shekel of the holy place. And the silver of the ones registered of the assembly was 100 talents, and 1,775 shekels by the shekel of the holy place. The half shekel for an individual was the half of a shekel by the shekel of the holy place, for every man who was passing over to those who were registered, from 20 years of age and upward, amounting to 603,550. And 100 talents of silver went into the casting of the socket pedestals of the holy place and the socket pedestals of the curtain. 100 socket pedestals equaled 100 talents, a talent to a socket pedestal. And out of the 1,775 shekels he made pegs for the pillars, and overlaid their tops and joined them together. And the copper of the wave offering was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. And with this he proceeded to make the socket pedestals of the entrance of the tent of meeting, and the copper altar and the copper grating that belonged to it, and all the utensils of the altar, and the socket pedestals of the courtyard round about, and the socket pedestals of the gate of the courtyard, and all the tent pins of the tabernacle, and all the tent pins of the courtyard round about.